speaking of City, some contrary reports, actually. First one is from Fabrizio Romano, who said, here we go, agreement reached between City and Leipzig. Sky Sports of today said that isn't the case and it's not close. First of all, what's your understanding of the deal and sort of who are you believing in this? And I know you've got some connections at the club as well. So are you confident the deal's going to happen? It's kind of weird that Fabrizio done a here we go and other outlets are saying it's not even close. You don't really get that too often. No,
yeah, I've seen that myself. I mean, I don't know. I think when I've been there last week, everyone was talking about that being the deal that they're focusing on the most. I probably expect it to get done. It's probably, I don't know, they're probably arguing over something, but Gvardiol's made a few City references in his posts. He written on his chest the other day, why always me, like Balotelli. He was messing about. So he's making City references to it, but the transfer market's definitely hotting up this week. Things are starting to move, players are back, agents are circling. So I expect City to get that one done, to be honest.
Yeah, I expect City to get it over the line. Generally, Fabrizio's had a few of these. Someone just reminded me of one last year when he said Cucurella was done. And then Brighton came out and said, no, it isn't. And then 24 hours later, it was done. And, maybe Fabrizio has just got a little bit of ahead of himself. Maybe RB Leipzig are not happy for the news to come out yet for one reason or another. So they've briefed some other media outlets. But it's definitely going to happen. And it looks like it could end up being a record fee for a defender, the most expensive defender in history. I'm sure City are then going to get accused again of what's the word? Ruining football.
Yeah, well, when it suits. We don't get accused for the good deals. Alvarez 14 million, Haaland 54, things like that. We don't get accused of. But as soon as we pull one of them out of the bag, you know what I mean? That'll be the second time out of the last 20 or something that we're in that top 20. So I don't care anymore. I hope City spend 200 million on a defender. I'd spend 300 million on a midfield. I'd proper just take the piss because the academy is earning that much money. It's ridiculous. Shea Charles just went to Southampton, 15 million. James Trafford's going to Burnley for 20. Carlos Borges going to West Ham for 15. Do you know what I mean? So we're knocking these kids all over the place here for big dough. So when you work all that out, Gvardiol probably cost us about £4. So I'm not asked.
Yeah, look, listen, Gvardiol's worth it. Again, some deals don't work out. Some players don't deliver. But this man is tipped to become one of the best defenders in the world. You're the treble winners. He's replacing one of your treble winners. You're going to pay a premium. And I think, look, they're talking about it being 86 million, which would make him the most expensive defender in history. So be it. City are earning the money. And again, unless somebody can prove that they're lying and cheating to have that kind of money, nothing's going to be done about it. And as you just said, I think 116 million City have raised through the sale of academy players in the last couple of years. And you've built the best academies in the country. So, and look, if your aim is to only have a handful of those players come through the first team, but sell them on at a profit, so what? There's nothing wrong with that. You're developing quality players, you're selling them on, you're making money. If teams want to, if Chelsea, Spurs, Man United want to counteract that, do a better job at developing your players and sell them for more money. Like Man United, we sold Iqbal the other day. We sold Iqbal the other day for £1 million. And for me, that was so frustrating. I'm not saying we should have got 15, 16, 17 million for him, but £1 million.
People were gassing him up, though, like only a year ago, that he was this, is that. Hannibal's the same. Oh, Hannibal this, Hannibal that. And I just don't think they're as good as what they think they are, some of these players over there. Charlie McNeil left Man City. He scored loads of goals for City's youth team. He went over United, and I even thought, fucking, he's a player, him. Doesn't look like that. He's that player.
Mate, I don't follow our academy anymore because I cancelled all my memberships, MUTV, the lot, because I don't give the Glazers money. But there's only a handful of kids. I've watched 2 preseason games, and Manu looks good. Manu looks really good. We've got Dan Gore that looks okay. Our goalkeeper at the back looks all right, but we're loaning him out anyway. And that tells you all you need to. Hannibal looks okay. But the fact that they're the only ones that are being given proper opportunities in the first team, it tells you they're not good enough, generally speaking. And look, there are examples. Harry Kane could be one. When a player's been loaned out once or more by his club and he's already 19, 20, 21, if he ain't playing regularly for you by the time he's 20, 21, the likelihood of him coming through your first team and being of a high standard to improve your team is so low. It's like Cole Palmer with City. He'll move on. He ain't good enough. He's good, but he's not pushed on enough. And look, he's probably a Premier League footballer. But
he's definitely a Premier footballer.
Yeah, but he's not good enough to maintain City's. Yeah, exactly.
Look at Romeo Lavia last season. Fernandinho leaves. Rodri's number 1. He must be thinking, I've got a chance of getting number 2 here. City just didn't think he was worth the risk, so they went out and sold him, got a buyback on him, got a sell on, and then they bought Phillips. But obviously, Romeo was obviously excelled, and then you're thinking to yourself, you know what, he probably could have done it. But Carlos Borges got something like 29 goals, 18 assists in the EDL, left winger, fast, aggressive. He's gone to West Ham with a buyback, and then they're all going mad saying, why are we selling our best players? Well, for one, we don't play with fast, aggressive wingers anymore. So that's probably why. And 2, if it works out a mistake, we've got a buyback clause on him. And it's the same with Taylor Howard-Bellis, his captain England under 21s. He's never getting in Man City centre-back position, never getting in. He'll be sold 2025. James Trafford in the Euros, you've seen him. Great keeper, confident, cocky.
Yeah, of course.
Never going to play. Might as well go to Vincent Kompany. We've got a buyback on him 3 times the amount we sold him. So I think we sold him for 20. We can buy him back for 60. So win-win for everyone. Win for Burnley if they sell him back. Win for City because we get him back reasonably cheap. So that's what City are doing. They let a lot go on free transfers, but with heavy sell-ons like 30, 40%, just in case he comes back. So if a club can't afford the fee, they'll say, right, you can have him on a free, but we've got a 40% sell-on or whatever. And that's how they're doing it. So they're clever what they're doing, man.
No, there's no doubt about it. I wanted to ask you about City, though. Obviously, a lot of quality's leaving. Gundogan's gone. Mahrez is going. Laporte will go. Probably Cancelo, although he was phased out last season. Silva. And there might be another name who I'm forgetting.
Silva's staying.
Is Silva going to stay?
Silva's staying.
Because there's a lot of I've seen a lot of City fans online as well, sort of tweeting, like, when are we buying people? Are you worried that there's not going to be enough quality coming in to maintain the treble? I'm not saying you'll do the treble again, but you're losing a lot of your quality stars. I mean, you're saying Silva's going to stay. There's still a lot of talk that will go. But Carl Walker to Bayern Munich. Are you worried that with 3 weeks until the Premier League starts, you could be a little bit short for the start of the season?
What you got to look at is if Gundogan leaves, he's brought in Kovacic. Don't forget, he started to play Foden in the middle. So if Gundogan's left, so say he starts the season with Rodri, Foden, De Bruyne in midfield, or Rodri, Kovacic, De Bruyne. So is that a drop-off if Phil Foden goes in ahead of Gundogan? In my opinion, no, because it's a different dimension. Right back, Kyle Walker didn't play towards the end of the season because John Stones was playing right back inverted. So is that a drop-off? No, because Kyle didn't play. Riyad Mahrez on the right wing. People aren't talking about this. Alvarez. So if Riyad Mahrez goes and you've got Bernardo Silva and Alvarez as your right winger interchanging, that's not a drop-off. Bernardo can go into midfield instead of Gundogan. So there's also, the thing is with City, they've got a lot of these players, but a lot of them can slot in other positions and work it. Foden can play on the left. Grealish can play on the left. Palmer can play on the left. James McAtee had a year at Sheffield United. He's back floating around. Will he get a chance? Don't know. But I do think they're going to strengthen. I do think if Laporte goes and Gvardiol comes in there, we've not lost anything at the back because Laporte never played. Nathan Ake, Akanji, Gvardiol, Diaz, Stones, and we're going to play with that back 4 of centre-backs. So that looks okay. If Cancelo decides he's got another chance and he stays and Walker goes, is Cancelo, could Cancelo can Cancelo play on the right wing? I think he can. You know what I mean? So I think Pep knows what he's doing, but I think the thing is with Man City, what you've got to understand is they make sure everything's right. And last season they lost Zinchenko, they lost Jesus, they lost Sterling and Fernandinho, and everybody went mad. They went mad. We haven't replaced them. We bought Haaland and Alvarez, and we got Stefan Ortega, the goalie. So we never replaced Zinchenko. We never got a left back. We got Haaland in as a 9. We never got anyone to replace Raheem Sterling, even though they wanted to crying out for a winger. And we never got anyone in to replace Fernandinho. We just used Rodri. So it's not panic. We don't panic. It's not panic stations. I get from outside looking in, you're thinking if you lose Gundogan, it's a massive hole. But it's not when you've got Phil Foden, Kovacic, Bernardo to step in that role. Do you know what I mean? Gundogan had a great season, but I'm not worried. I'm not overly worried. I think City will add Gvardiol. I think they've got Kovacic. I think they'll add one more, maybe a wide man. And it won't be a winger wide man like someone who's got pace and power. I think it'll be somebody that keeps the ball. And then I think City are good to go then.
Yeah, look, I understand that. And it could, I just look at it from a rival point of view. And I said on my video the other day, look, this could all be planned. This could all be taken care of, and they're completely relaxed. But I think if Bernardo Silva stays, my opinion changes slightly. But if he was to leave as well as Walker and Gundogan and Mahrez and Laporte, the hope, and it is hope as a rival, is that, there's just the depth. Not the first team. I think first team wise, you'll still be as strong. The one thing that reads good, though, is the depth. And what was so frustrating about playing you last season and in years gone by is, say you keep Mahrez quiet, then Bernardo Silva comes on, or vice versa. In the middle, you were able to bring on quality. If that depth's a little bit less this year, if the depth isn't quite as good, because I don't think Kovacic is as good. I don't think he's anywhere near the level of a Gundogan, as an example. No. Kyle Walker, as much as you may play someone else in that position, the amount of times that man saved you when, someone broke away, his recovery speed isn't there. Those little things, I don't think it makes City challenges for the top four. I still think you're your favourites for the title, but I just think it makes you slightly more gettable and beatable, and hopefully gives everybody a bit more confidence. However, they can't be stupid and start writing you off thinking that's going to be easy now to beat this City team. I think that's a little bit over the top, but I'm just intrigued to know who you've got coming in to replace some of these individuals. And as you say, Bernardo Silva, if he stays, that's one thing. That to lose, if you lose, that'd be the biggest issue. If you lose Walker, Silva, and Mahrez from your right-hand side, that is massive, because they're arguably three of your greatest ever players, and to lose them all in one summer, that's hard to replace unless you're bringing in equal quality. I know you've got a good bench, I know you've got a good academy, but there's a lot of depth there that could go missing,
Yeah, I mean, Riyadh, good money for Riyadh, in my opinion, at that age, 32.
Yeah, very good, very good.
He had a good season, but he didn't play every week. Gundogan, left us on a high. Bernardo was the one where I would feel it more, I think. I think if Bernardo went, because of where he can play and the energy he gives us, and the way he can slot into midfield late in games, just gives us that energy, see us over the line, go out wide if he needs to. He can play left back if he needs to. I think Bernardo will be a massive loss, but I'm told that he's staying. I'm told that that's sorted out. So I'm not overly worried. The younger fans will panic a little bit with it, but I think City know what they're doing. I think Pep knows what he's doing. He keeps a tight little squad together. Just one or two here and there. I think you'll get Gvardiol in, and Kovacic is already in. I think you get one more, and I don't think you're going to get any more than that.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Look, as a fan, I think it creates great questions around City in the lead up to the season, but you're still the favourites. As far as I'm concerned right now, even with what Arsenal have done, I can't look beyond. If someone asked me to do predictions now, the one place that I'm putting, it's funny, people call me out saying I'm predicting City not to win the league. I haven't even said that. I still make you my favourites to win it, but we'll see what happens with the depth and who else comes in. Where you guys are, you've got the 100 million for Declan Rice still sitting around. You're going to spend 80 odd on Gvardiol. You've got that 100 million you bid for Rice. That's, for me, that's the worry that then goes into. There was talk about Rafinha the other day as an example, but that's been kind of played down. Yeah, Dani Almo's been mentioned. I quite like Dani Almo. Look, he ain't as good as Riyad Mahrez, but someone of that skill set playing for Pep Guardiola could potentially do a job. The Spanish connection there as well. So it's going to be very, very intriguing. Someone here says Gvardiol signed, didn't he? Well, look, Fabrizio Romano has said the deal is done. Here we go. The agreement is done. Sky Sports have said it isn't done or not close yet. My opinion is, I think it is, but there's a technical reason why either City or RB Leipzig don't want the here we go right now. So they've probably briefed the media. We saw Brighton do this last year as an example. So it's going to happen. I think he's going to be a City player. I'd be quite relaxed.